In this video, I'm going to be showing you step by step how to run Claude Code locally on your computer, completely free and fully private using local models, so you can have something that you are seeing in here. I'll also talk about the most common mistakes and the best practices, so let's just jump into it. The first thing that you have to do is going into ollama.com and download Ollama. This is going to allow us to download these open source models into our computers. And if you already have installed Ollama, make sure that you update it to the latest update. Okay. Once you do that, you should see something like you are going to see in here. Okay. This means that it has downloaded completely. And these are, for example, some of the models that I downloaded. For example, it's going to be GPT OSS 20 billion. And I have other ones that I'm going to be showing you. Now, something very important that I want to mention is in here, I want you to go into settings. And then once you click into settings, I want you to move the context length to either 32,000 or 64,000. This is going to allow us to work the best when it comes to Claude Code and tool calling and all of this. Okay. So once you do that, you can just exit this. Do not close it all the way. You just want to keep Ollama kind of running, okay, in the background of your computer. And that's the first step. Next, you need to download a model. Okay, so there is going to be many different open source models out there. I'm going to give a few suggestions, but really it's up to you and up to your computer. The more performance your computer is if it's a high performance one, you're going to be able to have bigger models. And I would say around the 30 billion class. Okay. Now, if it's not super high performance, it's a little bit old, then probably you will want to run something that is smaller, like in the 2 billion, 7 billion. Usually, the bigger the model is, the better performance it's going to have. Okay. Now, for our case, we're going to go with the GPT OSS. Now, how are we going to download this model into our computer? Well, we can click where it says GPT OSS, and then you're going to see where it says Ollama run GPT OSS. This is to download that specific model. Now, let's say that I want to download the 20 billion. Instead of just saying GPT-OSS, I will have Ollama run GPT OSS and then colon 20B. Okay, so that is what I'm going to be doing. So for that, I'm just going to copy this, which already has pretty much everything. And then I'm going to open up a new terminal. And in the new terminal, I'm just going to paste this. And then at the end, I'm just going to add the 20B. Now, the first time that you run this is going to start downloading. So you're going to see like progress bars. Okay. But because I already have run it, it's not going to show this. It's just going to directly start running it. So I'm just going to hit enter. Now I can chat with my local model. So I can say something like, hi. And it's gonna provide me with a result that it is. So the user, because this is a thinking model, so obviously has this thinking, hello, how can I help you today? Perfect. It works amazing. So now we can just say bye, and that's it. Okay. Now, this means that we now have a local model. Now we need to join it with Claude Code. In order to do that, the first thing, obviously, we need to download Claude Code. In order to do that, you're going to have different commands. For Mac, you can just copy this and you will just copy it in the terminal and you will just paste it in here. Once you paste it, you just hit enter and then it's going to start downloading Claude Code. Okay. Once it downloads, if you want to make sure that it actually installed, you can just say Claude and then you can just say -- and then we can have here version. Okay. So once you hit that, it hopefully says now 2.1.17, okay, because it's the newest version. Okay. Now, if you have an old version, make sure that you update it so you can make this work. Okay. So now we have Ollama. Now we have the model in our computer and we also have Claude Code. The last thing that we have to do is join them together. Like I was saying, it's going to really depend on the models. If you have a smaller model, it's probably going to be only useful for chatting. It's not going to be super useful for tool calling, or it might give you some errors. So for our case, because we went with the GPT-OSS, it's going to be more powerful than, for example, if we would have went with Gemma, the 2 billion option one. Okay. Now, just to make sure that I show you the different models that I have, so we can go with Ollama list. Okay. And these are some of the models that I have. For example, I try a smaller version, which is the Qwen 2.5 coder, the 7 billion, and that one sometimes gives me some errors, right? For example, GPT-OSS is a way more capable model, so that's what we are going to be doing for this Claude Code. Now, when we start Claude Code, so let me actually just start it so you can see it, it's going to go The first thing is just gonna automatically go with Sonnet 4.5. Now we want to allow it to use our local models through Ollama. And for that, let me first exit this. Okay, so let me just exit really fast. Let's do this. Okay, so how are we gonna be able to match Ollama or to point to Ollama so it's able to use our local models? In order to do that, what we are going to be doing is using these two things. The first one is the token, and we are going to set it up to Ollama and then the best URL. Okay. So just to make sure that you have Ollama running in your computer, what you can do is just copy this going into your, in your browser, and then you can just add it and it will say Ollama is running. Okay. You need to make sure that Ollama is running in your computer, that you haven't quit it. Okay, perfect. So it's already running. So we are going to need those two things. And in order to do that, we are just going to copy this. So let me actually just copy, so I don't have to write everything from scratch. We are going to copy and we are going to go back to our terminal. And I'm just going to put at the end Claude. And then we're going to have dash model. And then we're going to have our model from Ollama, the one that we just downloaded. So for example, I can say GPT, OSS, and then the 20 billion one. Now I'm going to hit enter. And it's going to say if I trust the files in this folder. So you can just go with yes, proceed, and perfect. Now we have Claude Code pointing at this model in our computer, which is the GPT OSS 20 billion. Perfect. Perfect. So now I want to show you actually taking some action. So for this, let me actually exit really fast. And then I'm going to go into my specific folder that I don't have anything, and I will show you so you can trust me. So let me just go into test one. Okay, so just to show you that I have nothing in this folder, so this is the test one. What we are going to be asking is something very simple, and what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to say create a snake game in Python and call the file snakepy. So I'm just going to hit enter, and then now you're going to see that it's going to start thinking. And hopefully in a few seconds, it's going to actually start coding it and creating that file for us. So I'm just going to wait a second. Perfect. So it looks like it has created the game. And so it has created the file and then it has coded it. And then now it's asking me, of course, the first time that you play with it, it's going to say if you are going to allow it to actually create files. So yes, perfect. So I'm just going to say yes, allow all edits during this session. And now it has written this Python game, but because I wanted to use Pygame instead, this is what I type, use Pygame instead, and then it proceeded to correct the code, and that it is. Now let's actually try to play with it. So I'm just going to open a new window, and then let me make this bigger. I'm going to go into the folder, which is in desktop, test one. Okay, and then now I'm just going to say Python 3, and then the snake game. Perfect, I'm going to hit enter. And there it is. Now we have our snake game, which it was coded with a local model using Claude Code. So this concludes the full tutorial on using Claude Code with open source local models. Hopefully you liked it. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.